In the little village of Laurac in the south of France, Nigel and Reza have borrowed an elephant in a last-minute attempt to drum up interest in their Indian restaurant, due to open for business in just over 24 hours' time.
Demand soir in the restaurant?
But with bookings desperately thin, will the publicity pay off? Tonight, in just a few hours' time, Nigel and Reza are throwing an impromptu party at their restaurant, L'été Indien. Invitation has been by word of mouth, so they've absolutely no idea how many people will come, nor how much food to prepare. Furthermore, the locals haven't even tasted Indian food before.
Mustard seeds, where are my mustard seeds?
Nippy has joined them to lend a hand.
You guys seem fairly busy here.
Well, we need to now get on because, I mean, what have we? About 4 hours to go before the guests start to arrive. So and there's still a hell of a lot to do.
To cope with the last frantic hours of preparation and to stop Nigel getting under everyone's feet, Reza has banned him from the restaurant. It's all happening at once for Nigel. As well as the restaurant, he's preoccupied with other worries over his girlfriend, Céline, something he's decided to confide in with his old flame, Sally Ann, who's also been helping out in the restaurant. Nigel's relationship with Céline started off very well when they got together 18 months ago. In fact, it was Céline who originally suggested Nigel should turn his back on England and begin a new life in France.
Pourquoi non?
Pourquoi tu viendrais pas habiter ici, en Ardèche?
It's a possibility.
Later, they became close, taking weekends away together. Nearly 20 years older than Céline, Nigel even decides on a youthful makeover, which amuses Céline hugely.
What do you think? If he says no...
But then the stress of the restaurant venture takes its toll, and friends begin to wonder how serious she really is about Nigel. On top of that, of course, there's the communication problem.
You can see when she speaks in French, she's actually quite a different person.
Yeah.
To what, when she's struggling with the English, which is a pity. And I sense this frustrates her as well.
Well, it must slow her down, mustn't it?
What you really need to do, Nige, is find out exactly how serious she is.
Well, that's easily said. How do I do that?
Well, you could invite her to England for a weekend, after the restaurant is up and running. Meet your family, meet the children. And if she turns you down, you know exactly where you stand.
Well, I'm hoping Céline will be at the restaurant now, because she did say that she'd leave work early and come and help get the party ready. So maybe I could raise it with her now.
All these personal problems couldn't be coming at a worse time for Nigel. As well as his worries about Céline, it really is crunch time for the restaurant. At tonight's party, the local French people will give their verdict on Indian cuisine. Back at the restaurant, there's no sign of Céline.
Oh, Nigel. Oh, we were just talking about you. You are so late. You know, this is your business, you know that. But it's going to be...
Reza's keen to show Nigel the changes to the menu he's made based on the comments from their French friends on his first attempt. After all, there's no history at all of Indian cuisine in the Ardèche.
This isn't cooked, so it's going to change. The flavours will change as it cooks. It's still in its raw state, so I'm going to actually try and improve on the flavour. I know, of course. Well, of course it's like that. It's raw, because it's all raw garlic and ginger.
Reza and Nigel have worked out once the restaurant officially opens tomorrow, they must sell a minimum of 27 meals every night to break even. So far, for the whole of their opening week, they have just 15 reservations. It's vital that they get lots of bookings at tonight's party if they're not going to start losing money immediately. Everyone's been asked to make a big effort with their costumes.
Nicky, you're going to... I hate you. Go away. You have stolen my show.
L'été indien, Aurélie Fleury, bonsoir. Céline. Oui?
Nigel gets a call from Céline, who's been delayed in the office.
No, it's all done, baby. Well, it's 7 o'clock. The first people are due to arrive here at 7:30.
He sounds very disappointed she's not made more effort to support him at this critical moment.
Well, to be honest with you, there's actually nothing for you to do. It's all done.
Half an hour later, and things start to get busy. Reza and Nigel have managed to find musicians and a dancer who specialise in Indian music to get the evening off to a good start. And in the kitchen, they're still fine-tuning the food. There's just one main dish, chicken kofta, stuffed chicken balls served in a coriander, cashew nut and onion sauce. Well, it's a hit with Nigel.
Fantastic. Have you tried them?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Divine.
Fantastic. Right.
How's it going, guys?
A little bit chaotic. First, the guests are arriving now, so I'm just going to greet them. Are you ready, the Maharaja of Lorac? This way.
The first guest to turn up is none other than the mayor of Lorac himself, Monsieur Campatier.
The koftas look good, Rez, but what about everything else?
I'm trying to dress people up. I'm trying to get the food, and I'm telling you, I'm received. I think I'm not even dressed yet. I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? Oh, bloody hell, more people.
It's critical to give a good impression to Monsieur le Maire. But Reza's lost his shoes.
Where are your shoes? Quickly. We can't keep him waiting. Rez!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Monsieur le maire, je vous présente Reza.
Enchanté.
Il est madame.
Bonsoir, enchanté.
He's a little bit stressed. Stressless. Beaucoup de stress.
The place is starting to fill up. Some are old friends, like Nippy and Nigel's neighbour at Les Fabres, Monsieur Carbonero, and Monsieur Golette, their builder. There's also, most importantly, a large number of local villagers. This is also Reza's public debut for the restaurant's key supporters.
And have you met...
Soon the restaurant is packed with guests and the evening can get underway.
Pour moi, c'est un grand plaisir pour vous voir. Et pour mon partenaire de société, Reza, bienvenue. Et après la danseuse, et après les manger traditionnels indiens, j'espère vous faites beaucoup de réservations.
One late arrival, Nigel's girlfriend, Céline. The total turnout is bigger than anyone had expected. This is the first Indian restaurant to open in the very traditional Ardèche area of France, and the success of the food is critical. As well as the kofta, there's green beans with coconut and coriander, and smoked aubergine puree with mint and lemon rice. Even though some guests are surprised by the hot, spicy nature of what's on their plates, most seem to love the food.
Super. Super.
Vous pensez que ça va marcher en Ardèche?
Ben, j'espère. Enfin, je suis une des premières clientes, j'habite juste à côté, alors je viendrai très souvent.
Both Monsieur Carbonero and Monsieur Golette also think the food is wonderful. They'll definitely be back. The milder curry sauces seem to be the most popular. For some guests, the chicken kofta even rivals the legendary Ardéchoise sausage for taste and flavour, the ultimate compliment.
I love the aubergine dish. I think it was excellent, really fabulous. Yeah.
Et surtout les haricots verts avec de la noix de coco, je crois. C'est très bon, très croquant, impeccable.
Please be truthful, we need to know this.
Manu has promised to be brutally honest.
coriander. Okay.
Everybody seems to like it.
I ask everyone, and everybody is happy. No one says, oh, it's too spicy.
Nippy, particularly, is surprised and impressed by the reaction.
These people, you see, look at their faces, yeah? They've all got smiles on their faces. And believe me, if they did not enjoy the food, they wouldn't be sitting here. They're just enjoying themselves.
Suddenly, the reservations book for the week ahead is starting to look much healthier. Things are going better than anyone had expected. So Nigel seizes the opportunity to talk to Celine.
So what I'm going to do is book 2 tickets on the Eurostar for you and me to come to London so you can meet my friends and my children, and especially my mother.
I would like to come, but not to see your family. It's not
Why?
serious.
Why not?
Nigel.
Why not?
No, it's...
It doesn't go according to plan.
Well, it's serious for me.
I'm sure you understand that.
It is serious for me.
No, you don't. You can't say that.
Why? Because I'm too old?
I'm not a girl for you, you know.
Why not?
I'm so young.
So what? Is that important? Does that matter?
Ainsi va la vie, ainsi va l'amour.
Just after midnight, and it's July the 14th, Bastille Day. The celebrations are already starting up in the village.
Apportant des joies, apportant des fleurs.
For Nigel, it's been a day of mixed emotions. Relief at the success of the party, sadness at Celine's sudden departure. Down at the restaurant, it's the morning after, the night before.
Everybody liked the food.
Oh, yes.
This is the most important thing.
Yes.
So, Nigel, you must be delighted.
Yes, good evening. Very good evening. Excellent. And there's kind of a spirit of, you know, let's come together, let's make it work, which I think was really good.
And what about you and Celine? What's happened?
No, listen, we agreed not to talk about this.
He doesn't want anyone to know it, but Nigel's clearly very upset that it seems all over.
Yeah, I take all the blood.
Coming up after the break, tensions are rising between Nippy and Nigel.
You have taken risk with my money.
And now it's worked.
It's my money you risked.
Yeah, but it's a valuable property.
Nigel, without asking me, you invested my money in the restaurant.
Nigel and Reza's opening night party for their Indian restaurant in the south of France has gone better than expected, and it set Nippy thinking.
Il y a du soleil dans ses yeux bleus, c'est mes vacances. Il y a du soleil dans ses yeux bleus, c'est la danse. Ils m'en ont fait faire des voix.
The party has shown there is at least some demand for Indian cuisine in the Ardèche. And with so many visitors at this time of year, Nippy's beginning to think there could be real money to be made here.
Mais le plus souvent c'est merveilleux. Il y a du soleil dans ses yeux bleus.
Meanwhile, Nigel and Reza have started to think that the van alone probably won't be sufficient transport for running the restaurant. Reza doesn't have a driving licence, but he could buy a motor scooter for quick trips to buy any provisions that can't be bought in Lorac itself. Manu's offered to help him choose one.
Like that? Oh. You must be joking. I'm not going on that. There's no way. This is outrageous. I'm not going on this. What do you take me for? Really? No. That's not good for my image. That's going to take me 3 hours to get to even Alba. Manu, you're too heavy. You're like a hippopotamus on 4 wheels.
This one is 550 euros. The cheapest he has is in the back.
Is in the back. Can we have a look at it then?
On peut jeter un coup d'œil?
Can we have a look?
Bien sûr.
I quite like it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's wonderful. Must be 50s.
59.
1959. Yeah, I thought it's so 50s. I love it. I think it's really funky. How much was it?
It's 230 euros.
So which is what? 100? Must be 100 and something
150
pounds.
Yes,
I think this is nothing. I think that's a song. I love it. Oh, that's so fantastic. I want it.
Back at Les Fabres, Nippy's called a meeting with Nigel. Nippy now wants a part of the action and is keen to invest in any plans Nigel and Reza may have for the future, and maybe even become a partner in the business.
What's going through my mind is that there is a possibility. I mean, it is a great opportunity. I think it has proved one thing, that it wasn't, after all, a bad idea.
Let me just get this right. You were very reluctant. You were very reluctant.
I was reluctant the way you were going on about it. That was the reason.
Then you said you didn't want to gamble any of your money. Now I found somebody else and proved that it can work. And now you want to come in on the action.
Principle was my idea. I said to you, let's open an Indian restaurant here.
No, you didn't want. That was not your idea.
No, it was my idea.
It was my idea.
It was my idea.
It was my idea. And you didn't want to know. I had to drag you over here. We went around and saw dozens of restaurants, none of which you liked. And at the end of it, you said this is impractical.
And
you said the Ardèchois are not ready for Indian food.
No, I never said that.
And you didn't want to put your money in unguaranteed. You did. Yes, you did. So I had to find somebody else to do it.
No, you're making excuses now, right? You're making excuses.
You're a great one for hedging your bets, but I can see exactly what's happening here. And I think that's really unfair.
This unfair?
Yeah, I take all the bloody risks. Then when it works, then you come round to it.
All the risks? You have taken all the risks. You have taken risk with my money.
And now it's worked.
It's my money you risked.
Yeah, but it's a valuable property.
Nigel, without asking me, you invested my money in the restaurant.
No, I hadn't done that.
No, that's what you did.
I had borrowed this as a loan for
you
me,
borrowed,
a personal loan.
You borrowed against my money.
This is a completely pointless waste of time, this argument.
Meanwhile, with his newfound independence, Reza is hitting the road. If the bookings keep coming and the restaurant really does become as busy as they all hope, he'll need to make trips every day to the local markets for supplies of spices and fresh foods. Tonight, the restaurant officially opens its doors to its first paying customers. As maitre d' in charge of front of house, Nigel's having some last-minute practice with Christiane and Sally-Anne, who'll be helping with the waitressing.
For entrée, and then you do the line for one gigot.
Edward.
Yes?
In a clear voice. One lamb, one chicken, two fish.
No, they all want entrees as well.
You say...
They obviously all want entrees.
First of all...
It's not obvious. They might not want entrees.
Here.
I put it up here?
Yeah.
So
Reza, who runs his own restaurant in London, knows that in time, Nigel must learn to run the place without his help.
Could we, I know this sounds silly, but this would help me, could we have a little rehearsal?
And sometimes
with a menu?
The one is finished there, it's going over there.
Christiane, could you arrive and I could just do a rehearsal with a menu? Could you be like a guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be useful. Thank you. Madame, ici?
Merci.
Mademoiselle, ici?
The problem is that Nigel, whose French is not exactly brilliant at the best of times, has never run his own business before and has no experience whatsoever of the restaurant trade.
Bienvenue.
Merci.
Monsieur, je voudrais une gin and tonic.
And,
but when she says gin and tonic, I don't put that down on the top slip, do I? That's just for the bottom.
Yes, it doesn't matter. You do it. You do it.
It doesn't matter. One gin and tonic. Okay.
Oh.
Et Madame, pour vous, un pastis.
Because of the tiny kitchen, Reza's decided to keep the menu as simple as possible. Everything is being meticulously supervised by Brinda, Reza's top chef from London. There's a chadi handi, lamb cooked with pickling spices. alongside stuffed chicken balls served with a yogurt sauce, and dum kajinga, a prawn curry simmered in a vegetable and cashew nut sauce, all based on strictly local produce and a fusion of regional recipes from different parts of India.
We're off.
Nippy and Nigel have agreed on a temporary truce over their disagreements and decided to put on hold any decision about the future of L'été Indien.
You're going to do
Nice meeting you.
Oh, yeah, nice meeting you.
And now Nippy's going home. There's nothing further that he can do to help with the launch of the restaurant, and he needs to be getting back to the post office stores he runs in his home village in Hampshire.
Oh, God, I don't have to drive back on this again.
Shut up. You're like an old woman.
Get in.
But Nippy could well be back. That is, if the business goes well and he can persuade Nigel and Reza to let him join them as a future business partner.
What I would like is, if you don't mind, we have a chat on a daily basis, because I'd like to know how we're doing.
Of course, you have an interest in this. You need to know.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll.
You know, I mean, if we can just touch base, then I'd be able to monitor the progress. See
I'll
how
phone
things are
you
going.
every morning and
Fine.
tell you how many covers
you did last
we
night, the
achieved
night
previous
before.
night.
That's super.
Okay,
That's
will you be happy with
correct.
that?
As long as we have regular conversations.
Just give me a few weeks to get
Don't
going,
worry about
okay?
it.
But don't forget, Nips, this is a very seasonal thing, isn't it? And we have first priority to recoup our startup costs. That's first. Then there's my loan to be repaid. So we're not exactly going to be making an actual profit for a very long time. So don't hold your breath. Okay?
Back at Lorac, and all is set for tonight's debut of L'été Indien.
Oh, hang on, this could be a reservation. Hello, L'été Indien, Aurélie Fleury, bonsoir.
They're already well on their way to the daily target they must meet of 27 bookings. And after the party, the phone's been busy most of the day, with people making reservations for the rest of the week.
Oui, mais voulez-vous faire une réservation?
After months of planning, uncertainty and worry. After 6 frantic weeks of redecoration, re-equipping, advertising, finding and training staff.
We've got 2 more for tonight, 26. We've got 26 bookings for tonight, one more to go.
It's beginning to look like the restaurant might just be a success.
28. Rez, we've got 28 bookings. Good. Fantastic.
It's full tonight outside.
It's full tonight outside. That is fantastic. Rez, seriously, we're in business. That's brilliant. We've broken even for tonight.
In the next programme, for Reza, disaster. An accident puts him completely out of action and unable to work in the restaurant.
Painful.
And Sally Ann, who has given the restaurant so much help and support over the last few weeks, has to leave Lorac and return to England. So can Nigel, with his total lack of experience, cope with the reality of running a restaurant alone? If not, once again, the future of L'été Indien is thrown into doubt.
Nigel and Reza's book, A Place in France and Indian Summer, is out now for $7.99. To order, call 0870 1234 344 or click onto channel4.com/shop. Next, the carrot or the stick?